Have you ever paused to wonder what's quietly holding you back from the joyful, free life you deserve after 60? Life shifts in our golden years, slowing just enough to reveal the beauty in simple moments. A grandchild's giggle, a peaceful morning, or the freedom to live without rushing. Yet, without realizing it, many of us cling to spending habits that weigh us down, draining our savings, stealing our peace, and dimming the light of this precious chapter. What if you could uncover the traps sneaking into your life and make small choices to reclaim your freedom? In this heartfelt video, we dive woman to woman into 9 spending traps that often catch us after 60. From designer labels to unused subscriptions and beyond, you'll meet women like Susan, Ellen, and Linda. Real stories of transformation that feel like looking in a mirror. Each shares how they let go of costly habits to embrace comfort, confidence, and joy. Watching to the end will arm you with practical insights to spot these traps in your own life, save thousands, and prioritize what truly matters. Stay until the final moment for a powerful reminder. Letting go isn't a loss. It's making room for more calm, connection, and moments that linger in your heart. If you've ever felt the weight of financial stress or questioned your choices, this video is your spark of clarity. Share it with a friend and let's walk this journey together. Your lighter, freer life starts here. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1 is the illusion of designer labels. Let's dive into something we've all likely encountered at some point in our lives: the allure of expensive brand name clothing. For years, many of us were taught to believe that true elegance was something we could wear. We thought a well-known label would elevate our worth, our respect, and our visibility. The idea that wearing brands like Chanel, Coach, or Prada could somehow make us feel more valued, more esteemed in the eyes of others became almost ingrained in us. We bought the blouses, the handbags, the shoes, the whole ensemble. For a while, it seemed to make perfect sense. In the office, at social events, and even in family gatherings, looking polished made us feel strong, powerful, and like we were part of something more. But what happens when that external pressure starts to fade? Let me tell you about Susan, a woman whose story perfectly illustrates this shift. Susan is 66 years old, living a peaceful life in a quiet neighborhood in Ohio. She used to have a deep love for fashion. Her closet was filled with beautiful items from brands like Chanel, Coach, and Nordstrom. Every morning, she would stand in front of her closet, carefully selecting an outfit, making sure the earrings, scarves, and shoes matched perfectly. She was deliberate in her appearance, and it made her feel like she was presenting her best self to the world. It gave her a sense of strength and confidence, something we all crave. But when Susan retired, everything changed. One morning, as she stood before her wardrobe, something inside her shifted. She asked herself, "Who am I getting dressed for now?" Her life had become slower, gentler. She was no longer rushing to the office or attending endless social events. Instead, she found herself baking with her grandchildren, spending time tending to her garden and volunteering at the local library. In these moments, none of them required her to wear $300 shoes or a designer blouse. They didn't ask her to look polished or perfect. They asked for her presence, her warmth, and her comfort. Today, Susan still dresses beautifully, but her clothing has changed. Her favorite pieces are simple, wholesome, and comfortable ones that allow her to move freely with joy. She says the best thing she wears now is her smile. And when she says it, you can feel the authenticity behind those words. There's a depth there that comes from embracing who she truly is, not what she owns. The truth that Susan discovered is this: real elegance doesn't come from a designer label. True elegance is found within. It's in the way you make others feel when they're near you, in the way your voice carries emotion when you tell a story, in the way your eyes light up when your grandchild walks into the room. You don't need a designer label to be worthy. You already are worthy just as you are. So the next time you feel the pull to buy something flashy, something expensive, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, does this purchase bring me joy? Or is it just a cost? You may be surprised at how much lighter, freer, and more content you feel when you choose comfort, confidence, and authenticity over status. It's not about impressing others anymore, it's about being true to yourself. The elegance you seek, it's already inside you, waiting to be embraced. 2. The pressure to upgrade technology. The pressure to always upgrade our technology is something sneaky, almost insidious. It creeps into our lives in ways we don't even realize until we've already made a purchase. Every year we see new phones, tablets, and smartwatches hitting the market with promises of faster speeds, better cameras, and features we are told we simply cannot live without. The ads are relentless, practically screaming at us that we're missing out on something essential if we don't keep up with the latest model. And let's be honest, it's tempting, isn't it? Who doesn't want to feel like they're part of the now? Like they're in the loop with the latest gadget that everyone is buzzing about. But there's a catch, and I'm sure many of us can relate to the feeling of buying into that hype, only to end up feeling more overwhelmed than empowered. I'll share a story that hits home for me, and I think it will resonate with many of you. Ellen is 70, lives in Washington, and has always been independent and to a degree quite tech-savvy. When the new phone came out, the one with the fancy camera, the sleek titanium body, and the promises of amazing upgrades, Ellen thought, why not? It seemed like an opportunity to make her life easier. After all, who doesn't want the newest and best, especially when it's touted as a game cure? So she spent over $1,000 on a phone, hoping it would simplify her day-to-day routine. But the reality, it didn't simplify things. It made them harder. Ellen was met with frustration at every turn. The buttons were different. The menus were confusing, and the worst part, she missed calls she didn't even know she had. All she wanted was to FaceTime her daughter and see the precious pictures of her new great-grandbaby. Her old phone could have done that just fine, but instead she was now struggling with a phone that was supposed to make her life easier, but ended up only adding more stress. Technology is supposed to serve us, not create more chaos in our already busy lives. And here's the truth I've learned over time. Newer doesn't always mean better. So many of us fall into the trap of thinking that upgrading is the answer to all our problems. But if the device you have right now is still doing exactly what you need it to do, why waste your time and energy constantly chasing the next best thing? It's a moment of wisdom to realize that just because something is new doesn't mean it will enhance your life in a meaningful way. Ellen, after all the frustration, returned the new phone and went back to her old one. And let me tell you, there was an incredible peace in that decision. Now she feels more in control, more at ease. She uses her phone for the purpose it was meant to serve, to connect with her family and friends, not to chase after constant updates or try to keep up with the endless cycle of new. She's learned that the technology we have is just a tool, not the source of our happiness. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. So the next time you feel that pressure to upgrade, I encourage you to stop and ask yourself, what do I need this for? If your device still serves you well, if it meets your needs and doesn't leave you stressed out and overwhelmed, then maybe that's enough. You are not falling behind. You are making a wise decision. And wisdom, as we all know, is about understanding the difference between what we want and what we truly need. 3. The weight of credit card interest. Let's talk about something that often slips under the radar, silently accumulating in the background until it's impossible to ignore. The weight of credit card interest. It's the kind of thing that sneaks up on you quietly, eroding your hard-earned money, your peace of mind, and your spirit. Many of us first get our credit cards as a simple tool for convenience. Picking up a dinner here, maybe buying a gift for a friend there, or covering an unexpected car repair. But before you know it, that balance starts to creep up, and suddenly you're paying hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars in interest. And here's the gut-wrenching part. You're not paying for the things you enjoy today, but for things that are long gone, things that no longer exist yet still have a grip on you. Patricia, a 68-year-old widow from Georgia, knows this pain all too well. For most of her life, she was careful with her money. She saved, she budgeted, and she never splurged. But after her husband's passing, loneliness crept in, and with it, a desire to fill the void. Little by little, her credit card became her companion, helping her deal with the isolation by allowing herself small pleasures. A gift here for her grandkids, an online shopping spree there to lift her spirits, and a few repairs around the house that she thought would make her feel better. None of it was extravagant, nothing to be ashamed of. Yet it added up. One day, Patricia sat down to review her finances and was hit with the reality. In just 2 short years, she had paid over $9,000 in credit card interest alone. Can you imagine how that must have felt? The weight of that number sinking deep into her chest, knowing that money that could have been used for her well-being, money that could have gone toward her medical bills, home improvements, or even a long, aided vacation with her sister was now gone. It was a painful awakening, but Patricia didn't let it paralyze her. Instead of drowning in guilt, she decided to take control. She picked up the phone and called her bank, worked out a plan to pay it down, and started making small, consistent payments each month. She let go of a few things she didn't need, material possessions that had once brought her joy, but now seemed so insignificant in comparison to the bigger picture of her life. But most importantly, Patricia forgave herself. And that's the crucial part. We are all human. We make mistakes and we learn from them. Debt doesn't have to define you. It's not just a number on a statement. It's a feeling that weighs heavily on your heart. It keeps you awake at night and makes you feel trapped, anxious, and sometimes even ashamed. But that weight doesn't have to be permanent. Patricia's journey is one that so many women can relate to, carrying that quiet, invisible burden, thinking they have to fix everything on their own. But here's the truth. There is help. There are resources, strategies, and people who care. And most importantly, there is always a way forward. The less you owe, the lighter your heart becomes. And the lighter you feel, the more joy you're able to embrace in your life. You deserve that freedom, that lightness, and that joy. And I want you to know this. You can have it. It might take time, but you can get there. Fourth, the silent drain of unused subscriptions. There's a sneaky little trick that many companies rely on to make their profits soar. They count on our forgetfulness, on the fleeting moments when we sign up for something on impulse, often during a free trial or simply because it felt like the right thing to do at the time. They hope that after we make the decision, we'll forget all about it, leaving those subscriptions quietly lingering in our accounts. Over time, those small charges, $19 here, $15 there, slowly creep up until they've drained our finances without us even realizing it. Carol, a 64-year-old woman from Arizona, knows this feeling all too well. During the height of the pandemic, like so many of us, she found comfort in signing up for every streaming service she could find. Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, a few fitness apps. If it was available, she subscribed. At the time, it felt like the right decision, like she was taking control of her well-being, making choices that would keep her entertained and even active. But as the months passed, something started to nag at her. She began to notice a pattern. She was only watching the same 2 shows, reruns of her favorite old mysteries, and a weekly cooking program, both of which she could easily access for free through regular TV or online streaming platforms. The rest of the subscriptions, well, they sat and used, quietly draining her bank account each month. When Carol did the math, it hit her hard. She was spending over $90 a month on services she wasn't even using. The weight of that realization was more than just financial. It was a wake-up call. She thought about what she could have done with that money. Maybe taken a long, overdue weekend trip with her sister, or added a little extra to her emergency savings. Maybe she could have treated herself to a few nice dinners out, something she truly deserved. The what-ifs came flooding in. It was a stark reminder of how easily we can lose control when we're not paying attention. But here's the silver lining. It's never too late to take control back. Carol decided to make a change. She now rotates her subscriptions using only 1 or 2 at a time, carefully choosing the ones that bring her genuine joy. And here's something beautiful she discovered along the way. Her local library card gave her free access to thousands of movies and documentaries through an app called Canopy. No fees, no hidden charges, just access to incredible stories that made her laugh, cry, and think deeply. She was back in the driver's seat, choosing what mattered without the constant pressure of subscription costs. It's easy to believe that more is better, that we need endless options to stay entertained, to feel fulfilled. But Carol's experience taught her an invaluable lesson. Sometimes less is so much more. When we remove the noise and the overwhelming abundance of choices, we make space for the things that truly bring us joy. It's not just about saving money. It's about choosing with intention and focusing on what enriches our lives. And when you do that, there's a sense of peace that comes with it. A peace that comes from knowing you're in control and you're not being held hostage by a never-ending list of subscriptions. 5. The cost of chasing the jackpot. Every Wednesday and Saturday night, a quiet yet palpable sense of hope fills millions of homes across the country. Tickets are clutched tightly, numbers are chosen with anticipation. And for just a fleeting moment, it feels as if anything could be possible. It's a ritual that stirs up dreams, ignites imaginations, and makes us believe that luck might be on our side. But if we're being honest with ourselves, let's face the truth. The lottery is not a viable retirement plan. It's a form of hope. A dream we continuously pay for and one that we often fail to realize is costing far more than we ever acknowledge. Take Marie, for example. At 63 years old, this Michigan woman used to play Powerball every single week. Faithfully, just a few dollars here and there, $110 on payday, maybe $20 if the jackpot was sky high. To her, it wasn't about the money. It was about possibility, about the hope of something bigger, something beyond the ordinary. She imagined a life free from financial burdens, paying off her mortgage, helping her children with their struggles, and traveling to places she had always dreamed of seeing. Each week, when her numbers didn't match, she'd tell herself, maybe next time. And she'd buy another ticket. But after 5 years of playing with unwavering faith, Marie did something that opened her eyes. She sat down and calculated the total amount she had spent on lottery tickets. When the final number came into focus, her heart sank. Over $5,000 had vanished into the ether with no tangible result, no dream fulfilled. And that didn't even account for the scratch-offs or the extra tickets she bought when the jackpot grew even more enticing. That staggering amount had given her nothing but a stack of losing tickets, a handful of regrets, and an overwhelming realization. She had been buying hope. Hopes that were built on empty promises. Hopes that never paid off. At that moment, Marie made a decision. She chose to stop chasing a fleeting dream that had done nothing but drain her finances and spirit. Instead of sinking money into an endless cycle of lottery tickets, she began building something real, something tangible. Now, every week, she transfers the same $10 she would have spent on the lottery into a special savings jar she's labeled Future Joy. With that money, Marie has filled her life with real experiences. She's taken pottery classes, joined her friends on local day trips, and bought thoughtful little gifts for her grandchildren. These are the kinds of joys that bring instant, tangible happiness. And most importantly, they don't come with empty promises or the harsh sting of regret. Here's the truth. We often fail to acknowledge we are already rich in the ways that truly matter. We are rich in love, wisdom, and life experience. The treasures that no ticket can provide and that no number can ever match. So, if you're still buying tickets, I urge you to pause and reflect. What do you truly seek from this? What is it that draws you in week after week? Is there a more fulfilling practical way to achieve those dreams without waiting for a jackpot that might never arrive? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. Because in the end, the life you truly desire isn't something you can win by chance. It's something that's built with intention, one small, wise decision at a time. The power to create that life lies within you right now. Don't wait for luck to strike. Take control and start building today. 6. The true cost of food delivery convenience. There's something undeniably alluring about the convenience of food delivery. Just a few taps on your phone, and within minutes, a meal arrives at your doorstep ready to be devoured. It seems like the perfect solution for those hectic days when cooking feels like a mountain too high to climb. No dishes to wash, no preparation required, no effort at all, just pure convenience. But as we all know, everything that glitters is not gold. What seems like a small indulgence can over time evolve into something more expensive than we ever imagined emotionally, physically, and personally. Take Diane, for example. At 61, living in Texas, she found herself relying on food delivery more and more after her husband passed away. At first, it felt like a small relief. Cooking for just one felt like an empty task, a painful reminder of her loss. And it was easier to let someone else handle the work. She could order Thai food, burgers, pasta, whatever her heart desired at the moment, and it would arrive at her door like a small piece of comfort. For sometimes 5 nights a week, she turned to delivery as a way to fill the silence in her home, to ease the emotional weight she carried. It was so easy, so convenient. But like any shortcut, there was a hidden cost. A year later, Diane's routine had taken a toll. At her checkup, the doctor's words hit her like a ton of bricks. Her blood pressure was rising. Her weight had crept up. And worst of all, she felt exhausted. Not just physically, but emotionally drained. She realized she had been fueling her grief with unhealthy meals, relying on the convenience of takeout that was more about numbing her feelings than nourishing her body. When Diane sat down and tallied up her spending, the numbers shocked her. She had spent over $3,000 in a year, not on lavish dinners, but on quick processed food, high in sodium, low in nutrients, and eaten alone in front of the TV. That moment, that sobering realization was her wake-up call. Diane made a promise to herself. She would cook at least 3 meals a week. No elaborate recipes, no gourmet ingredients, just simple, wholesome meals that her body recognized. Soup, roasted vegetables, grilled chicken, food that connected her to something deeper, to the memories of simpler times when the act of cooking was about more than just sustenance. It was about care, about love. Something beautiful happened when she began to make that commitment. Slowly, the joy of the process returned. The aroma of garlic sizzling in olive oil filled her kitchen, and the rhythm of chopping onions became a calming ritual. Setting the table for herself wasn't about impressing anyone. It was about honoring herself, about saying, "I deserve this." She even invited her neighbor over for lunch once a week. They shared not just food, but stories, laughter, and a sense of connection that had been missing for so long. Diane's health started to improve. Her energy returned, but more than that, her spirit revived. Food delivery will always have its place. It's convenient, it's easy, and sometimes it's just what you need. But when it becomes the norm, it's easy to forget the profound connection we lose when we stop cooking for ourselves. Cooking is not just about feeding the body, it's about feeding the soul. It's about rhythm, memory, and love. It's about saying to yourself, "I am worth the effort." And you are always 7. The guilt of unused exercise equipment. We all begin with such hope, don't we? It's the start of a new year or maybe a fresh birthday resolution. And there's that little voice inside urging us, "This time I'll do it. This time it'll be different." So we go all in, investing in the latest, shiniest equipment, the treadmill that promises us a ton, the weights that gleam with potential, or maybe even that pricey exercise bike that costs more than the first car we ever owned. We picture ourselves healthier, stronger, brimming with energy, our reflection glowing with the results of our commitment. But life, as it so often does, gets in the way. Let me share with you Linda's story, one that many of us might recognize all too well. Linda, a 67-year-old woman from a peaceful cul-de-sac in Florida, started with the same dream. Last spring, she bought an expensive elliptical machine, top of the line, pristine in its promise to transform her life. She placed it proudly in her living room, where it looked like a beacon of health, just waiting for her to take action. For the first 2 weeks, she was determined. Every day she climbed aboard, feeling that sense of pride in doing something good for herself. But as we all know, life is unpredictable. A family visit here, a sore knee there, an unexpected change in her schedule. Suddenly, that once gleaming machine sat untouched, gathering dust, and with that silence came the guilt. Each time Linda passed the elliptical, there was that nagging feeling, a whisper of shame, not just for the money spent, but for what she thought it meant about her, that she'd failed, that she'd given up. She felt like a failure. It wasn't just the machine collecting dust. It was the deep emotional weight that came with it. But Linda's story is not unique. So many women driven by good intentions make the mistake of thinking that expensive equipment is the key to lasting change. And when it's not used, when it's ignored, the self-blame kicks in. Here's the thing. The machine doesn't matter. It never did. Our bodies don't need thousands of dollars worth of equipment to be strong. What our bodies need is movement. Simple, joyful, consistent movement. It doesn't have to be a struggle or a chore. It could be a walk around the block, the soft stretch of your arms while you watch the sunrise, or even dancing around the kitchen to your favorite songs from years past. It's the little moments that bring true vitality, not the equipment. So Linda did something incredible. She forgave herself. She let go of the guilt. She sold the elliptical to a neighbor who truly wanted it, passing on that promise of health to someone else. And in its place, she found something even better. A local walking group that met twice a week at the park. No fancy gear, no pressure, just a group of women, comfortable shoes, and a rejuvenating gift of fresh air. The result, Linda is happier. She's moving more. She's sleeping better. Not because she spent money on something that wasn't right for her, but because she created space for habits that felt good, that fit into her life with ease and grace. If you have a piece of exercise equipment sitting unused, gathering dust in your home, I want to tell you this with all my heart. You do not need to feel guilty. You're not lazy, you are human, and you deserve a movement routine that fits your life. One that lifts you and feels like a celebration, not a burden. It's time to let go of the guilt and embrace the beautiful, joyful, and human need for movement. Let it be about the joy of living, not the pressure of perfection. You are enough just as you are. 8. The empty promise of overpriced courses. There's something undeniably seductive about the idea of personal growth courses. They dangle a tantalizing promise of discovering your true purpose, unlocking boundless happiness, and finally finding that missing piece that will make everything fall into place. It's easy to be swept away by these promises. After all, who wouldn't want to find the key to living their best life? And yes, some of these courses are genuinely beautiful, helpful, and life-changing. But let's be honest, many of them are nothing more than overpriced fluff. I think of Margaret, a 69-year-old woman from Wisconsin, who knows this story all too well. After retiring from a rewarding career as a nurse, she found herself staring into the quiet abyss of life. The bustling schedule she once had, waking up every morning with purpose, caring for others, and making a tangible difference, had suddenly vanished. Her days were no longer filled with the sense of accomplishment she'd known for decades. A deep silence settled in. So, when she stumbled across an online ad for a coaching program that promised to rediscover your inner fire, she felt the surge of hope we all feel when we believe we found the answer to our longing. The program promised so much, and it came with a hefty price tag, over $4,000. But she told herself, "This is the investment I need to make. This will be worth it." So she dove in, attending Zoom calls, filling out worksheets, and participating in online forums. And yes, there were moments when it felt inspiring, even uplifting. Yet deep down, something didn't sit right. It felt like she was on a treadmill moving, but getting nowhere. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. When the course finally ended, Margaret took a long, hard look at her notes. And that's when it hit her like a lightning bolt. The answers they gave her weren't anything new. They weren't magical revelations or deep insights. They were simple truths she had already learned over the years, lessons she had lived through and survived long before paying someone to remind her of them. Her light bulb moment was profound. She didn't need to pay someone to help her rediscover herself. She already knew who she was. And so Margaret stopped looking outward for answers. She stopped searching for someone else to tell her what she should feel or do. Instead, she began looking inward, trusting herself. She joined a book club at her local library, rediscovering the joy of reading and learning. She started volunteering at a women's shelter, offering a listening ear and a helping hand once a week. She began mentoring a younger woman who had just lost her mother, giving her the gift of experience and compassion. And it was in these simple, everyday acts of kindness that she rediscovered her purpose. Not because someone sold it to her, but because she gave it freely with an open heart. Here's the truth that Margaret's story teaches us. The richest form of growth doesn't come with a price tag. It doesn't come from a carefully crafted program or a guru telling you what you need to hear. It comes from genuine connection, from the act of giving to others, from listening to our inner wisdom, and sharing it in ways that matter. When you give, you receive. When you share, you grow. So if you ever feel lost, if you're searching for your purpose, remember this. You are not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You are evolving. And that process takes time, patience, and real meaningful connections, not a credit card swipe. The most important course you will ever take is the one called life. And my friend, you've already passed with honors. You don't need a certificate for that. Just look around at the lives you've touched, the wisdom you've gathered, and the love you've given. That's the real success. 9. The hidden cost of buying a brand new car. Let's talk about one of the biggest financial decisions many of us make, especially as we enter our later years, purchasing a brand new car. While there's no denying that a reliable, comfortable vehicle can be a source of pride and is undoubtedly important for safety, there's a hidden financial truth that many of us overlook. The moment you drive that shiny new car off the lot, its value starts to plummet. It's a hard pill to swallow, but the truth is that a brand new car might end up draining your finances in ways you never imagined. Take Dorothy, for example, a 73-year-old woman from Indiana who had always driven used cars. For her, it was about practicality. She was never interested in impressing anyone with the newest model. But when her old sedan finally gave out, something inside her shifted. She thought, I've worked hard my whole life. I deserve something new. I want to treat myself. So, with a sense of excitement and anticipation, she went to the dealership and bought a brand new SUV. It was fully loaded, and she could already imagine how much more comfortable and secure she'd feel driving it. But there was one catch: those monthly payments that left a knot in her stomach. At first, Dorothy felt like she was living the dream. The new car smell, the smooth ride, the feeling of accomplishment, it was all so satisfying. She enjoyed the compliments from friends and family, and for a moment it seemed like she had made the right choice. But over time, reality began to set in. She noticed that her beautiful new SUV, which had cost her so much, had already lost a staggering 30% of its value after just 1 year. Thousands of dollars down the drain. Money she could have used for other things, or better yet, saved for the future. What stung even more was that now living on a tighter budget in retirement, Dorothy found herself cutting back on things that had always brought her joy. No more spontaneous weekend getaways, no more lunch dates with friends at her favorite cafe. Instead, she found herself sitting at home, looking at her car in the driveway, wondering if it was worth it. Eventually, the weight of it all became too much, and she made the difficult decision to trade in her beloved new car. She chose a certified pre-owned vehicle, just 2 years old, with low mileage and still under warranty. Her monthly payments were slashed in half, and the extra money freed up something invaluable: her sense of freedom. With the savings, Dorothy finally took that long-awaited train trip through the Rockies, something she had dreamed of for years. The breathtaking views, the quiet moments of reflection, and the adventure were more rewarding than anything a new car could have given her. It became clear to her, we don't need to impress anyone anymore. The need for status and material possessions fades as we get older. What truly matters is peace of mind. Sometimes peace comes from making practical, simple choices that make sense for the life we want to live. If you're considering buying a brand new car, take a moment to pause. Think about whether it's truly the best use of your hard-earned money and whether it will bring you lasting happiness. In the end, the real rewards in life come not from the things we own, but from the experiences and memories we create. So, what have you learned today? Have you realized that sometimes the things we think will bring us happiness, like a brand new car, can end up costing us far more than we bargained for? It's not about the status or the shiny new possessions, but about making decisions that bring us peace, freedom, and joy. Just like Dorothy, sometimes the best choice isn't the most expensive or the most glamorous. It's the practical, simple path that allows us to live the life we truly want. Now we'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned from today's video, and how will you bring it into your own life? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share it with others who might find it helpful, and of course, subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. We're so glad you're part of our community,